You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I am one of the hosts of The Burning Truth, and with me is the other host, John Ballore.
Hello. Oh, yeah, and you're Matt Burns, right?
Of course.
How are you, everyone? Are you all right?
I thought it'd be a nice way of introducing each other.
Absolutely, yes. I like it. Oh, it's been another busy week in the world of wrestling.
No kidding. The fact that we're... Hang on. What day is it?
Oh, yeah. It's Monday, fact fans. Congratulations to everyone who's noticed. As you may have seen on social media, we put a post out yesterday. Due to a combination of factors, basically, both of us unable to do the broadcast yesterday, due to life and stuff, we're here tonight instead.
Yeah, yourselves are having prior commitments, and with myself, I ended up being getting involved with Venom Wrestling Federation. Well,
Indeed.
being
It was
in attendance.
kind of a last minute thing, but I was like, no, mate, no, I can't do tonight, right? Just go. And It was news to you, but it helped you because it meant that you got to do what we're always encouraging you, our grateful and fantastic listeners, to do, and check out some British wrestling.
Correct. That is correct.
So,
now,
you've done more than just them this weekend as well, haven't you?
No kidding. Twice, in fact.
Yeah,
Twice.
So are you going to give us a bit of a rundown on where you've been and what it was like?
We will do. However, we just thought we'd just get the quick... Because lately, we thought we just... From now on, we start putting a bit of a warning disclaimer, stating that some of the audio that may be on this episode may be unsuitable for younger listeners, and some may find it the language offensive. So, audio discretion is advised.
If you're easily offended, please be aware that this show might not be for you, but that's okay. And it's only going to be occasional and temporary. It might not even happen at all, but we just need you to know there may be occasions when those of a nervous disposition might want to briefly look away.
Correct, or not look away.
And also, those who suffer from photosensitive seizures should be aware this show does contain strobe lighting effects.
Every week now.
It's part of the show now. It's a running gag.
It is. But anyway, the thing that we want to do right now is because originally the episode was meant to be on yesterday, and yesterday was Remembrance Day.
Yes, it was. It was a very important day. Remembrance Sunday, 11th of November, as it is.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, with it, instead of doing it yesterday, we are doing the episode today. So, to keep up the original plan, we're now going to do a 2 minutes silence. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and duets, that would be 2-minute silence for Remembrance Day.
Honour of Remembrance Day. Right. With all reverence duly paid, let's crack on with the talking about the wrestling.
Well, let's just have a bit of a slide note before we get to the wrestling.
Okay.
I want to send out a bit of a quick congratulations to a YouTuber.
To a YouTuber?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. You know, that's me immediately lost because I'm about as familiar with the patrons of YouTube as...
Trust me, you'll understand this one.
No, I believe you, but you'll just have to sort of slowly nudge me in the right direction. Anyway, who is it and what have they done?
I'm going to say congratulations to KSI for having the boxing match against Paul Logan.
Or perhaps Logan Paul.
Or Logan Paul.
Nice, yeah. It's not the first time. I actually do know something about this. Shock horror.
I know.
It is not the first time they have met in a boxing match, but I believe this one was actually a sanctioned professional fight, unlike the first one.
It was.
Although,
yeah,
possibly much to the annoyance of one of the members, the same result as the first time.
Nope. It wasn't.
Is that not true? Oh, okay.
No, you mean the first result, which was a draw? No, that's not the case.
That is not what I heard the result of the first fight was, but okay, fair enough.
No. The first fight was a draw. The second fight wasn't.
I see.
KSI won.
Oh, well, there you go. You said that before I even got a chance to say, are we going to give away who won? I guess we are.
Damn right we're going to.
I heard that he also won the first one. I didn't know it was a draw, so there you go.
Personally, he should have won the first one.
Well, there you go. But yeah, either way, he unanimously, or perhaps not, but he won this one anyway.
He won it by supposed split decision. However, the irony of it is, a certain individual, a certain maverick only has himself to blame.
Yes.
Because he had some points deducted.
For being a nit.
Basically, striking his opponent while they are down.
Anyone who's ever watched any combat sports knows you don't do that. Silly person.
Unless it's wrestling.
Unless it's wrestling, in which case you do that. Otherwise, you're being too nice.
Keep him down.
You're being too nice and you will pay for it.
Pretty much.
Anyway, so yeah, in the world of celebrity, not boxers turned actual boxers,
yeah.
Well, someone's got to do it now that all the boxers are in WWE.
I love it.
What is going on with the world? WWE is full of boxers. As a result, boxing is full of YouTubers. Is YouTube going to get taken over by grannies next? Formerly completely non-tech savvy grannies are just going to rise up, understand computers, and take over YouTube.
Wait. If the YouTubers are on boxing, does that mean we've got an opening?
Quick, get a really, really terrible, 1997 standard camera that makes us look fatter and uglier, and let's get on YouTube.
I love it. Anyway, let's get down to business and let's get on to the main discussion of wrestling.
The reason why we are here, well, sometimes we wonder, is it all worth it? But it turns out when everything that's happening is as batshit crazy as it has been these last couple of weeks, yes, it is worth it.
Yes, it is. Anyway, before we go overseas,
let's start in or on our own shores.
Yes, of course. Now, I attended 2 shows over the weekend, which was Wolfram Pro Wrestling and Venom Wrestling Federation.
Indeed.
I am not going to do any spoilers.
No, because both those shows, I believe, will be available either on Turnbuckle TV or on the relevant company's own site for you to watch back.
don't know if they are or not, but the thing is, at the moment, I don't know if it was recorded or anything. The thing is, either way, I don't put the spoilers out just in case before that reason, because if they have got it recorded, I don't want me revealing any too much. If you do want spoilers, check out their social media and give them a check out. Honestly, top-notch, quality wrestling, and I will give one hint for each show I watched.
Is the hint Matt Burns was there, or is it slightly more substantial than that?
I'm going to state what I considered potential match of the night.
Oh, I see. No spoilers as to who won, but just who was in the match. So that if you do get the opportunity to watch it, if it was recorded, you can look out for this particular match. I see what you're doing there.
Correct. And I will state for Wolfram Pro Wrestling, it was Colt Miles versus Xander Cooper.
Well, to be brutally honest, pretty much the moment you said Xander Cooper, I would have guessed as much.
I called it before the match even happened.
Well, turns out you weren't wrong.
I wasn't wrong. This was a hell of an entertaining match. And let's just say this. Guys, you've put in ideas in my mind. I will not forget that match. It was that good.
Oh.
Just some foreboding thoughts. Possibly in the new year. Maybe something involving UKWA, maybe?
Well, when you see it, you'll know. You'll be like, oh, that's where he got the idea from. But we're not going to give any more than that away.
Correct, because I will say that match was an absolute... knocked it out the park. I had to sit there and just watch it and just go, I'm loving it. I'm
awesome.
Absolutely loving it. This is why I watch wrestling.
Because it was that good.
Yeah.
Nice. Ooh.
And for me, for Venom, it's a tough one. Because I'm stuck between two matches. Venom.
Oh, for which one was match of the night? Yeah.
So instead, I'm going to make it a tie.
So you got two matches of the night.
For them.
Okay.
For Venom Wrestling Federation, which was the triple threat.
Yeah.
I believe which was the triple threat women's match. Absolutely knocked it out the park. Highly recommend it to anybody who would be checking it out.
Cool.
And of course, the main event.
Of course, the main event, he says. Which featured who?
Which featured the champion, Connor, also known as Liam Perrin, even though he doesn't like being called Liam anymore. He was known as Connor at this show, against the Starman Mark Clark.
Two names that you may not be familiar with, but that perhaps you should be.
Definitely should be.
So, those were the matches to watch from Matt Burns' wrestling weekend in UK wrestling. Don't forget, if there's a UK wrestling show anywhere near you and you're interested, go. They thrive on people like you going, oh, is there a wrestling show on? And dragging three of your mates round and them getting 4 extra ticket sales. If you then become a fan and go every month, you're helping keep the scene alive. So do it. Be like Matt Burns. Go to wrestling shows at short notice if necessary and if you can get away with it. Because most of the time, you won't regret it.
Oh, and in case you wondered, because I noticed that you were hinting at who was wrestling out of the women.
I was making a subtle hint, yes, but I didn't know if you could remember. Go on.
It was Stacey Dark, Lacey Owens, and Harley Faith.
Wow.
And let me just say this. Harley Faith is a tough cookie.
Not the first time I've heard you say that. You don't have to convince me, because...
No. I'll say this for a reason. Well, look, actually, I say she's not a tough, she's a tough cookie. That's actually a quote from the UKWA King of the Kingdom champion himself. He's seen her work.
There you go.
That. And do you know why?
And for anyone that knows UKWA King of the Kingdom champion Charles Kelsey, you pretty much don't get praise like that unless you deserve it.
Correct. And let's just say this. I saw her twice this weekend, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And believe me when I say this, she hits that hard. Near enough every bloke in the building, and in both buildings were like, I wouldn't want to be hit like that.
She hits that hard, you're still aching, and you were only watching. Is that what you're saying?
She hit that hard. I was ready to go to A&E.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Ouch.
So, no idea how her opponents felt.
Ouch.
Absolutely
I think sums it up.
Amazing matches all round. I can also say recommend both shows.
Awesome.
Knock them out the park.
I should have probably put this to you before the show, but should we do a bit of on-air promotion?
Would you kindly?
For a long-standing British wrestling company who have a show coming up on November the 30th and who have been kind enough to put their card on social media in advance of the event. Shall we promote it?
Would you kindly?
The company in question would be Wigan's own Grand Pro Wrestling.
Would you kindly?
I will. We will. The card for November the 30th, therefore, thanks to Instagram, other social medias are available, is as follows. A British title match between NXT UK alumni Ashton Smith, the challenger, against the champion Sandy Beach.
Ooh.
That sounds like a corker of a match.
That it will
also, the main event, a heavyweight title match.
Mm-hmm.
The Bin Man challenges the incumbent heavyweight champion and a man who I can't believe has never even been approached by NXT, Joey Hayes.
Oh, don't you mean that man, Joey Hayes?
That man. And the current Grand Pro Wrestling heavyweight champion, no less.
Correct. And
also on the
superstar.
card, Lucas Steele versus Martin Kirby in a singles match.
Wow.
The Austins, that's LA and Lana, against Tyson T-Bone, or as he is here, just T-Bone, and Collins. That's going to be one hell of a fight. That is for the tag team championships as well.
That it is.
Also, a singles women's match. Melanie Price, accompanied by Feel Good Media.
Yeah.
Versus, I believe that's pronounced Taonga, but I could be wrong.
I'll let you state it this time.
Get in touch with me on social media if I have got that wrong. But that is a women's singles match.
Yeah.
Also on the card, a 6-man tag team match. The Young Guns and RP Davies facing off against the Bad Lads.
Oh. The Bad Lads. Why does one of them look familiar?
I wonder. One of them will look familiar if you're a fan of both UKWA and, I believe, Pro Wrestling for You.
Correct.
And finally, a no-holds-barred match between Cameron Solas and Rio.
Now.
And that is the card for GPW Guts and Glory, which is at the Monaco in Hindley and Wigan, where they do most of their shows, and that is on the 30th of November, I believe. Yes.
30th of November, the Monaco, Hindley, Wigan, postcode WN2 3NU. Tickets all on sale at grandprowrestling.co.uk.
With a card like that, get yourself there if you're anywhere near Wigan and go and watch a fantastic night of British professional wrestling.
Correct.
About 4 of those 6 matches will be match of the night, by my reckoning.
No, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and just say all of them.
Well, that's the thing. If I had to pick 4, I guarantee you I'd have a list of 6 on my 4 out of 6.
I'm just going to go 6 out of 6.
That's going to be an absolute belter of a card. And since we encourage you to check out your local wrestling, there you go.
Please do.
There, please do. There's a fine example.
Anyway, now that we've done the British wrestling scene,
Yep.
shall we move on to the American scene?
Well, I think we should. But where are we going to start? The upstarts or the establishment?
Shall we go WWE or shall we go AEW?
This is what I'm saying. Let's start with the upstarts.
So you're thinking AEW?
Yep.
Yep, definitely. I couldn't agree more. I can also say they've been having they've had some bad news in the Dynamite shows because I believe they haven't been getting as many tickets sold for the venue. However, ratings are still doing well. Now,
Yes.
The interesting thing about it is with the ratings is the fact that I believe his name is Tony Khan. Sorry, I almost had to go into me Star Trek mode then.
I see.
Anyway, Mr. Khan has basically done a press release where he's actually stated that their figures, some of them saying, oh, they're decreasing. They are still over double their expectations.
Yeah. Essentially, he'll have set a sensible expectation threshold, which I have no doubt will have a bottom line of where the company is making money.
Yeah?
And if they're still over double that, well, frankly, the fact that they're going down is a concern, but only a mild one. And I'm sure it can be turned around.
Exactly. Especially...
It's not simply a case of they've come in like a certain British wrestling promotion, whose name I won't mention, who set themselves a target and spent a fortune and then folded shortly after, not even getting within 10% of those figures.
Oh.
You know which one I'm talking about. I don't have to mention names, but the point is, AEW are doing it the right way. They're starting low, keeping things on the sensible budget level, and looking to build slowly.
And let me just state this for the record: these are not the Burning Truth views, and are not being stated as facts.
Well, these are not. No, these are my views and being stated as nothing.
Whoa. Our views.
Oh, I see. Well, no, I was just saying they're mine because if they're yours and mine, then technically they kind of are the Burning Truths, aren't they? Since we are the Burning Truth.
No, true. We are the Burning Truth, but the difference is I'm stating that it's not actually of the Burning Truth. It's in mine, as in the Matt.
I'm with you. What we're basically saying
John
is,
Ballor.
it's just our opinions. It's not being presented as fact, and please don't take it as such.
Correct, basically, because it's we're not stating it as fact. What happened, as much as it's never good to see a British wrestling company do bad.
No.
But if you're doing bad business
and you're not making up the numbers, unfortunately, well, what happened to this unfortunate lot who you keep knocking me, but I'm not going to mention who they are, could happen to you.
I'm not. The thing is, I'm not stating any malice against them. They made some bad decisions. They made some bad decisions, and it was unfortunate what happened. And that's where we're going to leave it.
Yes. All I'm saying is they are the opposite of what's going on in AEW, where they've set the bar suitably low, and despite the Doomslayers going, oh, they're losing ratings hand over fist, they're still in a situation where they're actually doing fine, thank you very much, and they're not in any position where they need to start papering sales and giving away tickets for $1 to get an extra 10,000 through the door just to break even or anything. Yeah. They're doing fine.
Basically, in other words, it's one of them. It's one of them added old rules. You know, if you set the bar high, you could end up being below it. You set the bar low, you can be way over it.
And let's put it this way: exceeding low expectations is actually far, far, far more pleasing than struggling to meet unnecessarily high ones.
Correct.
So, as far as that's concerned, AEW are on the right path.
Correct.
But anyway, enough about their ratings. More about what's been going on their shows.
Correct. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to be going a blow by blow of Full Gear. I'm just going to be mentioning some 3 major topics that occurred.
Some at the show, some as a result of it.
Yeah, and let me just state, in regards to it, we'll most likely do a major cover of the show, possibly as a side special, potentially.
Potentially. Don't hold us to that, but potentially if our schedules meet and we're able to spare the time.
Good time is quite needing to be a bit of a luxury lately.
Is it ever? Whew. Yeah, so we will if we can, but don't hold us to that because we're not promising.
Correct. But anyway, nice to see the Rock and Roll Express getting involved on the show.
I believe you did.
What the hell? Canadian Destroyer and Suicide dies from them?
Hang on, the Rock and Roll Express, as in the legends of the business who are like pushing 50?
Yes.
Okay.
Legit.
That's one way to get over that you've always been the guys, and time may have... Certain people may have thought time has passed you by, but that is most certainly not the case.
And
Good Lord.
And this is probably their way of saying, yeah, we can still be NWA Tag Team Champions one more time. What the hell?
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a commitment to proving they've still got it, definitely.
Correct. And it's massively, massively interesting, I say.
Yeah, because it puts another whole dimension on the tag team division, wherever they happen to be.
Correct. Now, if I'm just trying to double check on certain things, because I believe AEW's event, was it this weekend or was it previous weeks?
I think it was... I don't know, the pay-per-view event was last week, was it not?
It was.
It wasn't this weekend just gone, as far as I know. As far as I remember. I honestly can't remember. What was it called?
Full Gear. Full Gear.
There's only one way to find out, ladies and gentlemen. Talk amongst yourselves while other internet search engines are available.
The thing is yes, we didn't get much of a chat to do with in the most previous weeks. We had some busy weeks. Yeah,
I'm just trying to see. AEW results have come in for 1 day ago, so...
I believe it must have been... Most likely have been Saturday. Yeah.
More than likely it was Saturday, yeah.
For me, it feels like it's been a week.
It really does. It's been one of those times where the days are just blurring into each other, but, oh, wow.
Honestly, the event itself, Rock and Roll Express getting involved after a match, which straight after a match between the Young Bucks and Proud and Powerful. Yeah. I thought it was interesting the fact that Rock and Roll Express got involved to give a bit of payback on Proud and Powerful for attacking them when they were just there to present the Tag Team Championships.
Indeed.
Now, that's 1 point done. That's out the way.
Yeah.
Let's get on to one of the major subjects.
One of our soapbox subjects for this evening, potentially.
No, not soapbox yet.
Oh, okay. You're not thinking about the one I'm thinking about then. Okay, carry on as we were.
We'll most likely end.
But the AEW segment is going to end on that. Okay, so let's go for this one.
Not end on it. It'll be the pre-end. But anyway, let's just get on to one match.
Which was?
Cody Rhodes versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
The build-up to this match was very real.
Has had Matt Burns questioning the... well, you know how the art of pro wrestling likes to draw the line between what's real and what isn't. Lots of line blurring was done for this one.
It wasn't just line blurring, it was the fact that you almost got to see a bit of the history almost repeating itself. Almost that magical moment, as you can see Cody, in the build-up to this, as he's speaking on the mic, he's really getting serious. And he puts out a promo on Dynamite the week, on the go home.
On AW Explosion.
Dynamite. Before, Full Gear. And he produces a promo so amazing that certain outlets were dubbing it the modern Dusty Rhodes Hard Time promo.
It's basically one of them whereby if you can find AEW social media, and if anyone that works in the AEW social media department is savvy enough, it'll be on there, and you're a fool if you don't watch it.
It's already on there.
Yeah, you're a fool if you don't watch it.
I believe the promo is even actually on their YouTube account for full view.
There you go.
And the promo itself sends goosebumps down. I'm not even going to say what was said. It's that good. You need to watch it.
Let's just put it this way, as another temptation for you to watch it. Basically, you remember how before the show where Cody fought his brother, is it Dustin? I always want to call him Goldust, but you can't call him that name anymore, can you?
Dustin.
Yeah. But you remember how I laid into the promo that Cody did before that match and said that for all everyone was saying it's brilliant, it was actually lazy, cliched, and a bit rubbish. Yeah, well, this one, none of those things. It genuinely is everything everyone's hyping it up to be.
Correct. And
it's the promo that a lot of people thought the previous one was. He knocks it out the park, literally drives half a mile out the park, picks it up, brings it back, and knocks it out a second time.
And what's so good about it is it also shows you the fact that he is Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
He is a Rhodes. He knows how to promo. He knows how to do it. And if WWE were watching that, they must be damn well kicking themselves.
Well, certain members of WWE might be.
Oh, apologies for this.
But
we're having a minor technical difficulty there. Would you care to repeat
really?
yourself, Paul?
Certain members of WWE upper management, maybe.
Yep.
But something tells me a certain person for whom decisions are the buck stops with him, shall we put it that way?
Yeah.
Was probably just thinking, what a waste of a good superhero. Sorry. I must apologise to folks at home. He probably wasn't thinking that at all. And I really only said that to get that precise reaction out of Matt Burns.
However,
thank you for reacting exactly how I wanted you to. Don't trip over that massive, massive tumbleweed that's just rolled past.
However, you do know that whole Stardust gimmick was actually tribute to Dusty.
Yes. Well, the name Stardust was. Yeah. The whole basically being a third-rate knockoff of his brother wasn't so much, but... No.
Some of the gear and actual name was actually linked to Dusty, as I believe, because Dusty partly used the name, but not...
The name Stardust, yeah. But this is Dusty, obviously, outside of the confines of the WWF at the time.
And he wasn't actually doing it as a space alien or whatever.
No, it was just a sort of like the Dwayne Johnson becomes The Rock, like a sort of extension of his own personality kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so that name, great. Where Stardust ended up going, not so great. But anyway, the point is, Cody Rhodes is back as himself and back to proving, well, why he was perhaps right to leave WWE when they wouldn't let him not be Stardust anymore.
Oh, not be Stardust. Don't you mean be Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, when they wouldn't let him stop being Stardust when he said, "I've had enough now." When they would not let him be himself. Yeah.
Translation: I've had enough now. I want to get off.
Yeah, this comedy skit machine thing. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but
we're done.
We're done. And WWE went, no, it isn't. So he left, and well, on the basis of that promo, we're quite glad.
Anyway, that's the build-up. The match itself was vicious. It actually almost ended soon. Too soon.
Oh, really?
Because Cody ended up with a vicious cut on his head, which a doctor ended up having to check it out there and then, but gave the clearance to continue. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the doctor that was checking up on him was the same doctor that saved Jerry the King Lawler's life on that episode of Raw.
Wow. There you go.
Right, but anyway, the point being is, the match itself was barbaric, and you know how serious the match is when Chris Jericho uses the upgrade of the Walls of Jericho.
Yeah, not just your standard Walls of Jericho, but the one that makes it look... Well,
yeah.
I don't know how to say this, because the Walls of Jericho never looks not painful, but you'd go for the standard Walls of Jericho 100 times out of 10 if you had the option between the standard one and this one.
This variation is, you could be potentially ending someone's career.
Yes.
With it. It's known as the Lion Tamer. The fact that he is bending Cody, and the crowd are begging Cody to come out of it. Fight out of it. Fight. Fight. Fight.
And it's simply not happening.
And if you were MJF, you are Cody's best friend, and you are watching him put, technically, potentially, his career on the line.
Yes.
And the fact that if he loses, he's not able to go for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship ever again.
Not just while Chris Jericho holds it, but ever again.
Ever.
Wow.
Serious implications.
Yeah. And I don't know if we want to give away what actually happened. Spoilers, we want you to actually watch the show. But
unfortunately, I am going to have to reveal the spoiler because of a moment. And this is where I am giving everyone a heads up on this now. I am giving a 5-second warning right now.
We are about to give away a major spoiler of AEW. This is a 5-second warning. If you don't want to know the result, put your fingers in your ears and hum for about the next 30 seconds, starting now.
Now, Chris Jericho basically locked in the Lion Tamer. Cody Rhodes is refusing to tap out. MJF had to throw in the towel on his behalf. It was that barbaric.
Something that, of course, NXT fans will be familiar with.
Yep.
It's something that you never want to have to do, but if you're at your friend's side, at ringside, and you honestly feel there's no other choice.
No. You can see legitimately when it happens. Jericho goes off celebrating with his, little bit of the bubbly. And you've got MJF in the ring crying that he's had to throw in the towel for Cody.
as sort of like, yeah, I really didn't want to have to do
He
that,
didn't
but
want to do it, but he had to save Cody's career, potentially.
yes.
For then Cody, he was looking furious. He was angry that he didn't want to give up. But then the question is when is too much too much? We'll get on to that later.
Yes.
But the point being is, when do you put your own safety for gold? And that's no easy answer to tell. And that's from myself being a wrestler and also a promoter.
Yes. You have to do it on a case-by-case basis. There's no easy answer.
And the shock of this is, Cody settled in and realised MJF was doing what was best for Cody. Helped MJF off the floor, shook hands with him, for then MJF to squarely turn heel on Cody and kick him in the nether regions.
Kick him very much south of the border.
Oh, good Lord.
Absolute abject storytelling reaction in how to get a whole arena full of people sympathetic for you making a very difficult decision to flip like a light switch going on, basically immediately you start fearing for your own safety.
It wasn't just the fact of, that he turned them. I mean, the whole building sounded like it went nuclear.
Or even nuclear.
It went pretty much nuclear. The heat that was coming off the crowd, it was vicious. And then you saw MJF walking up, smirking, smiling. And as he was facing the ring, the camera's behind him. All of a sudden, he got showered by this massive array of a drink thrown in by a fan.
A drink? We assume it was water. Could have been beer. Really not sure.
Could have been beer. Could have been spirits. That fan was that adamant and angry, he wanted to throw it at him. And we're not talking a small bit. We are talking it drenched MJF. Some people thought it looked like, is that a plant? Is that or anything? And you saw MJF just look at him, look at the camera and just smirk and just carry on as though, I now know I've done my job.
Boom. Turn complete. I have done my job. I need do no more.
And just walked off. And it was like, good Lord, that's heat.
Yes.
That is pure heat. Now the question is what is going to be the comeuppance of that? However, we'll discuss more of the aftermath of after that match after the next subject.
I see. Is this the one that I thought you were going to mention last time?
This is it. This is the match that ended the show.
The soapbox moment extraordinaire.
Do you know why this was main event? Why this was the last match?
Honestly, no.
Because it's classified as unsanctioned. It had to be either before all the matches,
either as an
after.
opener or at the end. Yes.
This was the lights out, no holds barred, unsanctioned match between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega.
Yes.
Now, this match was, for better of terms,
I think the politest way to describe this match is overkill.
This match has actually divided people.
Yeah.
Massively.
One of whom being someone quite close to Jon Moxley.
You wouldn't say.
Yeah.
You done your homework.
Yes.
Renee
Young, who of course still hired by WWE. employed by WWE, and how can we put it? I think possibly not a fan of CZW or old school ECW, and not really a fan of that kind of wrestling, and possibly not a fan of Moxley's pre-WWE work either.
Not anymore, probably. She's like, what the hell? The fact that to her it was so horrifying, she had to de-cleanse herself of it by watching a Christmas movie, even though we are in November.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
There are more than a few people who, in the wider wrestling fandom world, who wholeheartedly agree with Renee Young, and
One of them being Dave Meltzer.
Think that this match is basically nothing more than a glorified Combat Zone career shortener, and that, frankly, well, I think the phrase, to paraphrase Meltzer slightly, both of them were mad for agreeing to it.
The weird thing about it is, one WWE match it got compared to. Can you guess what it was?
Hang on, a WWE match that everyone went too far.
No. They watch it, they always remember it, but it could have been the match that went too far.
It's not going to be, you're not going to say a certain event involving a certain person taking a tumble, are you?
Oh, yes.
A certain, the moment I think you're referring to that it was comparable to pretty much this whole match is, you mean the second time Foley went off the roof of the cage when he went through it, don't you?
We are talking about the whole King of the Ring, that match.
Yeah.
The whole match.
The first time was bad enough, but the second time, when, to all intents and purposes, the cage wasn't supposed to give way, that bit. That sort of... I don't know what I'm watching anymore. I don't know if this was real or if they're supposed to be going this far, but I feel slightly sick and I really don't know what to think. And can I turn it off, please?
You know how serious it is when JR is pretty much calling it as, for God's sake, somebody just stop the damn match.
Yes.
Right? Well, anyway, the reason why they are comparing it to that is because this match could end up possibly having the same end result. Now,
namely considerably shortening one or both of the people in the match's careers.
Yes. Now, a lot of people with the King of the with that certain infamous Hell in a Cell match between Mankind or Mick Foley or against the Undertaker, you do know what a lot of people dubbed that match as?
What, the Hell in a Cell match?
Yeah, they dub it as the match that Foley walked into and limped out of.
Yes.
Because...
The match that literally was the match of one of Chris Jericho's many WWE catchphrases. Because afterwards, Foley truly was never, ever the same again.
And the bar was raised too high. Now, The question is, was the bar raised too high on this? Possibly.
Have AEW possibly peaked and set the violence bar a little bit too high, a little bit too soon, and got to the point where we're going to be having some... the only way they're going to top it is to get into the comedy violence of sort of Japanese exploding barbed wire death matches.
And you know what? The odd thing about it is that's the one thing that they actually stated that was missing out a bit.
What, exploding barbed wire?
Yeah.
Boards. Yeah.
Really?
That's what. Yeah. Really? Do you really think that match needed more?
No.
Really? No, it did not. It had far too much as it was. Back off.
To some, what's your view on it?
Honestly, aside from the worrying precedent it set in the camp of a certain English member of the AEW roster who's famous for that kind of match and will now probably thinking, oh shit, they've set the bar that high, have they? Right, what can I do to top that?
Oh Christ, I forgot about him.
Yeah, generally, I think it's a bad thing because that way is a road down which lies injuries, shortened careers, and ugly, ugly, ugly scenes that, frankly, if all it is an attempt to get a cheap one over on WWE and their comparatively family-friendly sanitized product, it's not worth it.
No. No. It's not.
Absolutely not worth it.
It's not.
And I don't actually think
I'm on
that
the fence.
those who enjoy that kind of violence, I think,
I'm on the
you
fence.
know what? In a kind of strange sort of way, I, as a one-off each year, enjoy watching, on average, roughly about half,
Go on.
because the rest of the time I have my hands over my eyes going, oh my God, that's too much. So I end up only seeing about half of the CCW Tournament of Death. But that's a one-off, once-a-year thing. And
Right.
the way this match was portrayed is sort of,
Yep. I
this
can
could happen
understand
at any moment in going forward in AEW. And no,
Yeah.
as a once-a-year, like Hell in a Cell, like the Elimination Chamber, like the Tournament of Death, a sort of one-off peak in the violence.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be fine. But just to sort of say, nah, this is a Jon Moxley match, this is what you might get every week. No, I think it's a way to completely desanitize people to inhuman amounts of violence, unnecessarily shorten careers, and I don't like it.
Personally, this is where I'm on the fence with it. For me. For violence out of violence sake, I'm against it.
Yes.
Because you've got to think of your own body's health, risk, safety.
Absolutely. Your
If
safety should come first.
If it's a one-off, because the feud got escalated so dramatically and they wanted to hurt each other, as a one-off, fine.
You could argue they went a bit too far, but if that's an end to things, yeah, fair enough, I guess.
As long as it's an end to things.
Yeah.
Because
I've got a horrible, slightly sick feeling in my stomach that if it does good ratings, it won't be. Which is the line you've got to draw, really. It's kind of, okay, guys, enough's enough now.
Ease it down. Please don't
Yeah,
kill
you
each
had
other.
fun, but how about you find new and creative ways to do things that don't just go straight to 20 out of 10 on the barbaric scale,
Pretty much. We don't want to be hearing the Wilhelm scream all the time.
No.
Anyway.
And nor do we want a very disgruntled, emo-fringed English bloke to be like, well, that's great, because now what do I do?
Even though we can wrestle.
Oh, you absolutely can.
But anyway, that aside, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That aside,
we should move away.
I'm going to go on to the next topic, which I was going to go on to the... Personally, actually, I'll say, personally, I'm 50-50 saying, yes, it went too far for the violence sake for violence, but if it's just a one-off, then it's a blow-off, then potentially as long as it's a blow-off.
Yeah,
but I don't
they
think that's
can get away with it if it's a blow-off, but yeah, we've got a horrible feeling it won't be.
So, our personal view is, it could have been toned down a little bit, especially with this being the first time they're having a proper pay-per-view against each other.
And this is AEW's what, like fourth show?
Third or fourth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the kind of match they should have had in maybe 2021 when they've had, like 5 or 6 pay-per-view matches over the intervening time, and there are 3 and 3, and this is the absolute, this
True.
one, whoever wins, we draw a line under the feud, that's it, we're done, the final coming together.
Correct. However, rumour has it that AEW may not follow the WWE format in monthly pay-per-views.
They might not have one as often as that.
They may not. But anyway, we can't digress on what that's going to be because it's not been revealed yet. But anyway, you kept mentioning a certain British fellow, didn't you?
A certain English wrestler on the AEW roster who, how can we put it this way, rather likes hardcore wrestling.
That he does. He's been having laughs and jokes. However, there was a bit of a stir over the weekend during a bit of an event where he ended up with a scuffle with Excalibur. Yes,
which could have got out of hand. Luckily didn't, but could have got out of hand and could have proved to be... well, let's put it this way. It could have been a lot worse than it ended up being.
It sounds really bad from the general view. The fact that he went for a punch, Havoc was intoxicated. He went for a punch on Excalibur. Excalibur moved, put a chokehold on him. Security ended up getting Excalibur released the chokehold and separated them. And then, and that was it. But then Havoc came back, took a second punch at him, which hit. They both had a bit of a scuffle, tumble. It got broke up again. And then Havoc got taken to the outside. Excalibur was inside for a bit. They were about to calm him down. Just as he was about to almost get calmed down, he went back. Excalibur went out to Havoc to try to talk things out. Havoc supposedly got angry, threw a phone at him, which smashed. And security ended up splitting up the altercation again, with Excalibur on the being taken in, and Havoc being pretty much sent, was with security outside waiting for an Uber to take him to the hotel.
Yes.
And some of this was actually in front of the AEW owner.
Yeah, of all the people you could pick to do something like that in front of,
which he did bring up into the press conference. However, it has been reported that there is no heat backstage between the two. There is no repercussions coming from it, and that Jimmy Havoc is feeling very remorseful over the situation, and more than likely apologise in regards to it, and things have been very much settled down and sorted out.
And the general consensus of opinion is it was just one of those things.
It could be classified as a one-off, and the fact that the irony of it is you got Jimmy Havoc then even poking fun at himself, saying he wasn't allowed at Full Gear because he had a feeling that someone was going to turn. And he's right behind MJF with a knife going, I can see a backstab here.
Well, that's the beauty of the whole situation. If he's capable of, a little bit of putting himself down, self-mocking, seeing the funny side, then it shouldn't be as much of an issue as it could have been. But
now, let me just state it. When I state he wasn't at Full Gear, I was not stating that he was banned from Full Gear. He just wasn't booked.
He simply wasn't on the card. That's all we mean by that.
Correct. Now, that aside, let's just get on to some of the aftermath from Full Gear, which is, when I say aftermath, I don't mean actual aftermath as in what's going to be coming up next. I'm going to be discussing some injuries.
Because, funnily enough, a slate of matches as brutal as that, didn't pass without some unfortunately didn't pass without some of the people involved needing some time on the shelf.
Correct. Now, two people are not reported to be cleared from Full Gear, which are none other than Cody and Kenny Omega. Both are not cleared. Now, with Omega, they're not 100% sure. They could be potentially stating this as part of a storyline. It could be, we don't know, but the difference says they wouldn't joke about something this serious with either one of them. They are being safe. They're making sure that they're off. They're getting medical check cleared and everything. So two of their major stars is currently possibly injured, but will be most likely be making a return, which could end up fitting in with the whole AEW storylines.
Well, yeah, and if it does, great,
Correct. Another person who was potentially almost on the injured shelf was none other than Hangman Page, who supposedly received a bit of a stinger from his match against the bastard Pac. And it wasn't actually because of Pac or anything to do with Hangman Page. Something just went a bit wrong in the match.
Yeah, it was just one of those unfortunate things. It was just a case of, that wasn't supposed to happen, but we'll deal with it because,
However,
it has, and let's just take it and try and make the best of it.
However, Hangman Page and Pac have got their rubber match scheduled for Dynamite.
Meaning, let's hope everyone is 100% for that, because, well, that's going to be a match and a half.
Correct. Seeing as it's the third and could be final.
Yeah, potentially the final. And
we'll have to see what happens.
We want both Adam Page and the artist formerly known as Adrian Neville to be at 100% for that.
Correct. Now, with all of that out the way, that is now AEW covered. We'll most likely go into more details in regards to it next, at another time. But we've now got to move on to WWE. We've got 3 things to discuss. I'll discuss one of them majorly because I know more about it, which is, I'll get that topic out the way straight away, which is none other than Paul Heyman potentially being in hot water with management and the fact that they don't believe that some of his changes he's been implementing haven't really been skyrocketing Raw's ratings as of lately. And
they're not a huge fan of some of his storylines.
Correct, which one of the storylines he's recently developed was the Rusev angle.
Yeah, the less said about that, the better, quite frankly.
Pretty much. But anyway, the point being is, he supposedly may have only a few months to turn it around. We'll have to wait and see how that develops eventually. Who knows? It could be the fact that he could be getting replaced. Now, we know that if ratings aren't going up or things aren't going well, if people are saying, he won't fire Heyman, just take a look at SmackDown right now. What happened to the previous person who was running it? Who was that?
I can't remember because they fired him.
That would be none other than Eric Bischoff.
Yes. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, I've been sat in the same position pretty much since we started this, and
it never gets easier.
Prick in the neck, I tell you. This broadcasting business, it's hard work.
Yeah.
I miss the days when I used to be on Six Towns Radio, so I only had to talk for about a minute at a time, and then I could put a record on and relax again.
And it's not like, because you've got to be dedicated to the talk.
Oh, yes.
That we do,
We do, right. But yeah, rumour that Heyman might be on his way out the door as a creative at the very least. Got a feeling you'll still be seeing him as talent for as long as Brock Lesnar stays around, but...
Correct.
Anyway, essentially, my take on this, losing Heyman would be a blow, but losing things like the Rusev-Lana storyline, not a blow in the slightest. So, swings and roundabouts.
True. But I do think Heyman would be a big asset to lose if they lost him.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're going to do everything in their power not to, but you know what I'm saying. It's like a case of he should be aware enough that he can tone it down and he can save everything.
We'll have to wait and see how things turn out. But anyway, we digress.
Yep.
What's your current view on current storylines?
In WWE?
Yeah.
Sorry, what? Storylines in which...
The storyline.
Storylines in which everyone is taking a back seat to NXT. As a lifelong, since it started, massive NXT fan, great. Bring it on. About bloody time.
And then you've also got Raw invading NXT. And there is one line I do love from that when the OC invaded NXT that was made by Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes.
When he kept
I love that line. Yes. People have been asking for years, when are you going to come up to the main roster? So, the OC, welcome to the A show.
Welcome to the main show. I was
I thought that was fantastic.
Get him!
secretly, or rather, not secretly, very publicly acknowledging what many people, including me, who are predominantly NXT fans, have been thinking for about the last 5 years anyway.
And do you know what the silly thing about it is? Everyone can
What?
say, but they, they've got their diehard fans. You've got their diehard fans. Really? Watch what happens when NXT turn up on Raw and SmackDown. They're not cheering Raw. They're not cheering SmackDown. What chant are you hearing?
Are you hearing a simple chant made up of 3 simple letters repeated over and over and over again?
Yes.
Unfortunately, that kind of falls down because Raw is a 3-letter word, but the point is they're not cheering Raw or SmackDown.
No, they're not.
They
Cheering NXT.
NXT.
Or
NXT.
Or Shayna Baszler.
Clap, clap, clappy, clap.
That's what I mean. They're cheering it on. The only time that they're not doing that is when, you got Shayna Baszler with the man, Becky Lynch.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm not 100% sure what the deal with certified cheating, rule breaking, we want to boo you, Shayna Baszler, attacking certified cheating, rule breaking, we'd like nothing more than to cheer you, but we're going to boo you now because you're being evil, Bayley and Sasha Banks on SmackDown was. But, okay, I get the general point. NXT are invading, and in that situation, it kind of makes sense because, yeah, the crowd are cheering the living daylights out of Shayna Baszler, which is something that she's adapting to quite well, but I'm sure she wasn't expecting.
Oh, hell no. Doubtful. But it's entertaining to see. And I actually wonder what's currently going on with Survivor Series going to affect the upcoming NXT takeover, potentially.
I have no idea. All I can say is, yeah, it's quite an interesting thing because, yes, the NXT roster is deep.
Yeah.
But after all of the top guys in NXT pretty much have been through, and all of the top girls have been through 2 War Games matches on the Saturday night, are they going to be in any shape to take on Raw and SmackDown on the Sunday night?
Oh, which some of them are going to be very, very sore.
Yes. Although there's only one name so far that I can think of that hasn't been mentioned for the War Games match. I was going to be really cheeky there and say for either gender, but no, for the men's War Game match. I haven't watched all the way to the end of this week's NXT yet. I've got to be honest. I'm halfway through the main event. I would have finished it by now, but, we had a broadcast to do. But, so if he is in the final 10 minutes, sorry, because I'm going to make myself look like a right idiot, but yeah, I know he's Johnny Triple Crown, but he can't fight all of Raw and SmackDown on his bloody own. That's a bit much even for him.
You'll have to wait and see. But anyway, the point being is, with how they're doing it, you've got many matches changing left, right, and centre, and there's loads of speculation of things being turned around massively and dramatically. Now, all I'm just going to say is the angle has been massively interesting. But there is one thing that has been picked up on.
A negative? Surely not.
Not a negative, more of a, where are they taking this?
Okay.
Seth Rollins in the ring. Talking about how he's being so upset about no longer being Universal Champion. And for have Triple H interrupt him. And say, isn't this so weird? Every time you're floundering, we somehow evolve around each other. when that happened.
Yeah.
And, turn around saying, "You know how this works, Seth. You're either with us or you're against us.
Sorry, what? You're either Gallus or you're against us. What's that got to do with anything?
You're either with us."
Oh, sorry, you're not making an NXT UK reference. Okay,
No.
sorry.
Even though they did make an appearance.
Of course.
And could be making another.
Actually, could potentially be the difference maker at Survivor Series. Hence, as a result, quite a lot of NXT UK have not yet made an impact. The standard regular NXT, let's call it NXT US for the sake of this conversation, have invaded Raw and SmackDown and been invaded. Haven't seen much of NXT UK yet. They could very much be the difference maker.
They did on SmackDown.
Ah.
Imperium.
I say I haven't seen SmackDown yet. Of course.
Imperium.
Gotta love a bit of
turned up.
Imperium. Oh, do you know what? I've just had a fantastic image.
And absolutely devastated Heavy Machinery.
Wow. 4-on-2. Those odds
Smack-
just about seem as though you can just about get the better of Heavy Machinery if there's
SmackDown
4 of you and 2 of them.
Was in full force, came down to try and make the save, but Imperium managed to dart out before anything could happen.
I see. This could get interesting.
It's showing that shots are being fired, and it's massively, massively interesting.
Yes.
It's getting bigger.
It's the angle that, let's face it, isn't going to be contained by Survivor Series. It's going all the way to WrestleMania.
Possibly.
Do you know what I can sense happening now?
Go on.
In light of the event in Saudi Arabia, which they'll want to carefully airbrush from history.
Oh dear. Even though they've got a multiple year contract with them.
Yeah, no, just in light of what happened this year, they'll just and no, the point I'm trying to make is in light of that and things that have happened there that weren't at the particular show that caused the issues recently, but and in light of the depth of the roster, hashtag 50-man Royal Rumble this year.
Possibly. Who knows? But anyway.
50-man and 50 women. I don't know if WWE actually hire 50 women, but across Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT UK, I think they can do it. And wouldn't that be something?
I think they could. Remember, there is NXT UK as well.
That's what I was saying, yeah. Across all 4, wouldn't that be something?
Anyway, we digress. But anyway.
We do. But the storyline is great and fantastic.
But let me say this. Why did Triple H state to Seth, "You are either with us or against us"?
That's got a lot of people's minds ticking as to what he could possibly mean by "with us."
There's a rumour going round. Some might say that Vince McMahon isn't really too happy with Seth Rollins' main Raw push. And that he hasn't handled.
You could argue that he's not doing awfully well, which is the reason why he lost the title to Lesnar and had to win it back, and then fairly sharply after that lost it to The Fiend.
Possibly. There is a rumour going round that Seth Rollins could very well be moving to the Yellow brand.
Superstars? 205. Oh, NXT. Ooh. Interesting.
Which then allows him to put more mainstream look on NXT. But who's he going to be switching with?
Well, you mean as in he's going one way and they'll do a trade deal with NXT for someone else?
There is a rumour that there's a big trade deal going to be happening.
I think that I might know the person that might be going the other way.
Who do you assume?
And I've got a feeling that the crowd in NXT will probably miss him more than the crowd on Raw will appreciate him. Bro.
No.
No? Oh, good. I'm wrong. What a surprise.
You're wrong. Are you ready for this?
So it's not Matt Riddle.
And he won't be going alone.
Oh, might there possibly be 4 of them?
Possibly.
Imperium again. No, I jest. I know who you mean.
Go on.
I know who you mean, and that's not a rumor. That's undisputed.
Adam Cole, baby!
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get out of my system. Could be going to the main show. I didn't say main show.
You mean
I mean
leaving the main show to go to Raw?
Yeah, I agree with you. To go to the B brand.
Yeah. No, the C brand, because SmackDown's the B brand.
Actually, true, yeah. True, yeah, that's a good point, because
SmackDown's
good.
Yeah, the B brand, the Bray Wyatt is champion brand. See what I did there?
The right brand.
Yeah. Anyway, interesting rumours. We'll keep you updated with whatever happens on that front. But
No. SmackDown is the right brand out of Raw and SmackDown, but for the truly righteous ones, the undisputed ones, the correct ones, the We Are Wrestling fans.
Yeah.
There's only 3 letters to check out.
3 letters. What were you talking about?
XT.
Okay, that's yeah.
I'll just brand. I'll just do a bit of self. I'll do a bit of branding for NXT.
Why not? There are only 3 letters. I was just going to say, hang on, no. Gargano's got 7 letters, but okay, fair enough.
I see what you did there. But anyway, we digress.
Don't forget Johnny Triple Crown!
Of course. But anyway, let's just keep watching the storyline to see what develops. But there is going to be rumours that talents are going to be changing shows. Hopefully, they don't change NXT too much and let NXT to be its own brand.
Excuse me, yes. Really inopportune moment to yawn then. I do apologise. Yeah, hopefully NXT has made itself into what it is on the back of the people who are on it. So, needlessly moving them around because whatever. No, don't do that. Hopefully Triple H will have the final say on that and he will agree with us. But, yeah, I don't want NXT to change. I really don't, because it is exactly what it is, and that's why it's successful. So to modify things, water it down, just potentially undoes all the good work. Please don't do that, WWE.
Can I just throw out a prediction?
You've got this forum. You might as well.
I'm going to throw out a prediction right now. And it's a long shot.
Are we talking... This is WWE, so anything could happen. I'm thinking Jinder Mahal as world champion.
No.
Kind of long shot.
I'm going to predict that Becky Lynch is going to stay WWE Raw champion till WrestleMania.
1 whole year.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
But I can see who's going to dethrone her.
I've got a feeling that I know where you're going with this. And if by that point said person is still wearing their current title, they may possibly become the longest reigning holder of that title by WrestleMania.
Who are you thinking?
I may possibly be thinking of the Submission Magician.
You're thinking that? No.
And if she don't forget, it's already nearly 400 days in her second reign as NXT Women's Champion.
True. But I think the person who would dethrone Becky has actually been mentioned in their talks between each other.
Is it an NXT person, or are we talking about an already main roster person?
Main roster.
All right. Well, no. In that case, I think I know who you're talking about. And I think that you should probably look down a bit when you're talking to her, because otherwise you'll look straight over her head.
Who are you thinking?
Because she is 5 feet of fury.
No.
See, I'm wrong again.
And to find out who I think it's going to be...
Let's just clarify. I've guessed so far Shayna Baszler and Alexa Bliss, and Mr. Burns thinks neither of those.
Neither of those. If you are interested in finding out, check out next week's episode of The Burning Truth.
I like what you did there, Mr. Burns. A little bit of Jeopardy, a little bit of making... what's it called? A little bit of making people want to tune in next week. I see.
Damn right.
That's good. All I can say is make a note that you've said that, because now you've said it, let's not forget it.
Oh, don't worry. I already am.
Ooh, I've just had another idea for who I think it might be, but I'll save that guess for next week as well.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just literally putting it on now for you.
Marvellous.
And we will be also discussing Survivor Series predictions.
And NXT War Games predictions.
And NXT War Games. War Games.
Yes.
That's going to be absolutely a long episode.
As if this episode, which we thought we were going to just get to everything quickly, hasn't already been.
Oops.
Anyway. Well, I think we're pretty much ready to wrap up this week, unless there's one more thing. I can't remember. We're either done or there's one more thing before you get to the plugs.
Maybe one more thing. No, we're not going down that road.
One more item. No, let's not do that.
No.
No, I think that we're good. I think we've covered everything. So far, the handling of Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT going into Survivor Series has been fantastic. And WWE need to keep everything exactly on the path they're currently on. Don't change the brands around. Don't do anything silly. Just keep going. Ride the momentum. And as long as the black and gold brand come out on top at Survivor Series, everybody's happy.
Yeah, don't mess this up.
No.
Anyway, we digress. Let's just get down to the, that's a wrap up for the news and everything we want to discuss.
Yep.
And the only thing I want to discuss before we get onto the plugs is we've got plenty of subjects that we're going to be talking about for special episodes.
Which we will be finding the time when we can to record over the coming weeks and months and putting out whenever we possibly can.
Correct. But here's a little taster of what we're going to be discussing. We've got some of the best finishes, some of the worst finishes. We've got some best entrances, some best musics. We've also got some of the worst musics and entrances. We, of course, got some team ups, be it either tag team or factions, that we haven't seen on WWE.
Would like to see.
But would like to see. And much, much more.
We've also got the potential for... I just had a great idea and it's gone again. Feel for me while I try and make my brain work.
Don't worry. Basically, or even unique matches that haven't been used.
Oh, yeah. That was the one that we could also potentially do, because, again, I would just stress, as a disclaimer, it would be with the little asterisk like wrestling show posters have, and where they say card subject to change, the asterisk on the poster for this would be in our opinion.
Yep.
Not stated as fact, but best pay-per-view matches ever. It's another idea we could use.
Worst pay-per-view matches.
Absolutely. Best champions and worst champions ever. The list is potentially as long as we want it to be, but if you the valued listener, have any ideas, you've heard those ideas and you think, oh, they haven't mentioned
this idea.
Use Burning Truth social media to let us know, because if we like it, not only will we use it, but if you put your name on it and stuff, we might even credit you for the idea.
No, not might. Will credit you.
Oh, if you put your name on, we will credit you. We can't if you don't. That was my point.
Correct. However, if we can get at least a name tag, we'll give that a shout at the very least.
Absolutely.
So if you want to have some discretion.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good. But anyway, we'll get down to plugs, which I'll be doing quite speedy right now, and hopefully try and get through these as quickly as possible. Please check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. Please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy, especially their beginner classes, which are on Monday, £10 per class, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. For location details, please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy social media, which I highly recommend. We also recommend you check out JFX 3D to do amazing championship belts. I've seen them do amazing. I am keeping a very close eye on them, and I might be in touch with them myself. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, we recommend you check out some charities like Mind, Changes for Health and Wellbeing, Messy for Mind, and Donna Louise. They're absolutely amazing charities. Can't speak highly enough for them, and would, if you are a big massive supporter for mental health, for Donna Louise, please look into them and check them out for yourselves. If you think they're a great cause, please donate. And as such, we recommend you check out bands like The New Breed, Camens, Blackpool. Absolutely amazing bands who I can also say do great music. I also, of course, would like you all to recommend, to check out the lighter side of wrestling, be it Botchamania, WrestleCrap, and OSW Review. You're welcome, Matthew.
Nice one, RD. Keep up the good work.
And of course the guys at OSW Reviews as well. We also recommend you check out YouTube channels like Phil DeFranco, When Venom Striker, and also her TikTok. The multiple channels of Luke Moto, and of course First with Feet. Absolutely amazing. I believe they're getting some new content on there, which I highly recommend. But of course I always recommend Hot Ones, of course. And of course we also recommend you check out Pull or Pass Radio, where you can talk things all geeky and nerdy, be it from DC to Marvel. And of course, we also recommend you check out Weed the Independent, as if I'm not mistaken, they have got some absolutely knockout interviews on there.
Absolutely.
And just in case in point, I'm just trying to see if I can load up one of these said interviews in regards to it right now for you, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm checking it out now for you. They have got none other at the moment. You ready for this? I'll just give you some names. They've got Big Wavy, Roy Johnson, Holly Dead, Darius Lockhart, Zoe Lucas, the Jim Nasty Boys, Paul Robinson, which is in multiple parts, but they've only got the first part up. You've also got Jack Smith. You've then got Anthony Henry. There's a lot on there. But the most recent interview, which is very interesting, as part of the Indie Till Infinity, which is Sugar Dunkerton. Guess who he's having a chat with?
Matt Burns.
I wish.
No, go on. Who?
None other than MVP.
That is an interview you have got to listen to. Call yourself a wrestling fan? Yeah, if you don't listen to that, you're not.
And of course, we also recommend you check out Train Pop Culture, which is a fellow podcast. I can also say I actually know each and every person that's involved in that podcast, and who knows, we could end up even collaborating with them on 1 or 2 episodes potentially. Because I will say they do like to talk about wrestling. They talk on other subjects, but they are massive wrestling fans, and I wouldn't mind having a bit of wrestling wrestling knowledge wits against them. What would you say?
Well, a wrestling a sort of challenge of who knows the most about wrestling. Is that what you're basically getting at?
Possibly.
Um.
Or who's better at predictions?
Oh dear me, no. Stick with the first one, unless you just want to do it on your own, because I'll drag the side down.
You'll do fine. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I beat you last time. Yeah, wonders never cease.
Exactly. Of course, I recommend you check out Think Wrestling with host Tom Baker.
Where have I heard that name before?
Tom Baker.
The capital of New York is not America. Tom Baker, there's a subtle hint. New York, the state, has a capital city, which is New York. That is all it is. The capital city of the United States of America is Washington, D.C.
It is the tourist capitalist, but not the...
It's Washington, Tom, you fool.
Washington, D.C. And in case anybody wants to know about that, please check out, I believe, on his Wrestle Talk, or also known as, on Think Wrestling, where he has a series with Chantal Jordan, where I believe it was talking
stupid things or dumb things. Since renamed, since it's similar with Tom Baker, because he made such a accidental and completely not planned fool of himself.
Correct. With a sort of special guest jump in from myself.
Ooh.
On that during one of the segments.
Yeah.
But I'll just say, you don't see me, you just hear me.
Yeah. Shouting from the background. Shouting from the background like a heckler at a gig or an angry dad at a football match. That's not how you spell Hawaiian or whatever. I don't know.
Anyway, and of course, if you want to check out, if you need any party packages or or anything for big parties, be it soft play, bouncy castles, magic shows, mini discos, face painting and glitter art, stilt walking, balloon modelling, balloon decorating, fire and illusion show, please check out Fabaloony or the website, which is www.fabaloony.co.uk. We also recommend you check out Kayfabe Music UK. We know how good the music is. You've heard it.
You hear it at the beginning and end of every show, every week here on The Burning Truth.
That you do.
Whether you knew it or not, you know now.
You know now, and I highly recommend anybody who is interested in having some custom-made music, because all I'll say to you is their current, original tracks are absolutely amazing, but for anybody who's after custom-made music, do you know how much it is?
I do, but I'm not going to say, because that'll ruin the surprise. I'll let you.
£60.
For a piece of custom-made, fully original music that you can use for any purpose you so desire, be it from your wrestling entrance theme to the tune that introduces your wrestling podcast to, I don't know, just playing every time you're in the shower to make you feel good about yourself. Whatever. It's great value, whatever you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, it sounds like there's a bit of a technological issue, or what I believe what my colleague was stating was that the soundtrack, the song that you've got, you can basically use it for whatever you need it for, but be it entrance music, be it either for parties, events, you're able to do it at your own leisure.
It's yours to use exactly as you please.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I highly recommend Kayfabe Music UK. Massively, but of course, let's move on to continue down the line. For all British wrestling, I highly recommend you check out Turnbuckle TV. And why is that?
Why is that? Because it's got over 30 promotions and more are being added all the time. And all of those over 30 promotions are adding new shows all the time. And it's yours for the princely sum of just $3.99 a month. Yes, that's right. $3.99 a month. No, I didn't say that wrong. I'm not underselling it. $3.99 a month. That's less than £1 a week.
Or in some cases, some can say £1 a week with a penny change.
Indeed.
That's what I'm saying. It's that insane.
I believe it is such phenomenal value that AJ Styles is thinking about telling them to cease and desist.
I like it. But we digress. We highly recommend you check it out, especially if you wanted to sign up and you wanted to if you want to show some love to any of the shows that are on there, especially even if it's UKWA, just go onto the link www.turnbuckletv.com/UKWA, or instead of it being UKWA, insert company name.
Insert any of the other companies that are currently available to watch on Turnbuckle TV. You can do it for any of them.
Yep.
But if you do it for UKWA, thanks.
Yeah, we do greatly appreciate that. But of course, if you are interested, one thing that we always recommend is always check out your local wrestling shows. Case in point: United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Future Championship Wrestling, Fusion Pro Wrestling, The Bouts Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You, Venom Wrestling Federation, Wolfram Pro Wrestling, Preston City Wrestling,
Future Shock Wrestling, Fight Club Pro Wrestling, Premier British Wrestling, Insane Championship Wrestling, Falling Star Wrestling, Progress Wrestling. The list is pretty much... It's not endless.
Hang on. Slam Wrestling.
Yeah.
And of course... and many more.
The list is not endless, but it could almost be. And don't forget, if you do want to check out your local wrestling and you don't know which one of those is nearest to you, or in fact which show is, there's a fantastic free way to find out on the internet.
Well, on a mobile app, be cool, because the app, it's got a great price, best price ever. It's in for the low price of nothing.
Absolutely free.
Which is the app is called Babyface Wrestling UK.
And if you get that, you can not only look up the companies, but you can also look up the wrestlers as well,
and
including
you can also follow them.
One called Batmans. Where have I heard that name?
Funny.
Oh, sorry, no, that's his Halloween alter ego.
Damn it! You spoiled me fun for next year.
Never mind the fun I'm about to spoil for you in a minute, because I've just had a stupid idea.
Continue, keep going.
Can we hire Fabuloni for a UKWA show and put on a tribute to Juggalo Championship Wrestling by having all the wrestlers have their faces painted like clowns?
Oh my good lord. No, not happening.
If it ever does happen, hi, it's my fault. Sorry. Anyway, back to the plugs before Matt Burns dissolves.
Anyway, back to it. Please check it out. Any follows to UKWA or to myself, I would greatly appreciate. And of course, we've also got the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. You know what's on there. Everything's on there. Fantastic. But please do not hold us responsible for any external links. We of course got our social media, which is Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. We have got past episodes on Spotify. Hopefully we'll be updating them soon. And that, of course, is a wrap-up for this week. So
that's pretty much it. So until next week, when amongst other things, we will be dealing with predictions.
Well, not next week. This Sunday.
Yeah. Not a week from today. 6 days from today. You've only got 6 days to wait. Yeah.
I know.
We will be dealing with predictions for the week after's both NXT TakeOver War Games and NXT Takes Over Survivor Series. That should be a fun weekend.
I see that. I see what you did there. I like it. But that's going to be an absolutely monumentous event. But anyway, that's going to be knocking out the park. But of course, we always recommend you check out your local wrestling, of course. But on the opposite side, if you need to remember always to take care of yourself physically and mentally. If you are not feeling well, be it mentally or physically, just always remember to seek help in either way, and it is okay to not be okay.
And it's equally okay to ask for help if you are not okay.
It doesn't.
The only way that it will ever get fixed is if you acknowledge it, accept it, and ask for help with it. So don't be afraid to.
Don't suffer in silence.
Indeed.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap up for this week. Thank you, as always, and please stay your amazing selves, and we'll hopefully catch you this Sunday for the next Burning Truth.
See you then. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Until then, catch you later.